How you doing, Arnett? You good? Nice, nice. I wonder if it's a Friday thing. Well, let's see how many people actually managed to join us here today. Or no? Oh, we have Mel joining as well. Feeling a little bit better. Thank you for asking, Arnett. To be honest with you, it was like a random fever I spiked, and then still not feeling 100% good. But work's got to be done, so we're here doing the work. Welcome, Mel. Welcome, Andrew. How you guys doing? Hey, Mel. Actually, I can't hear you, Mel, just so you know. I don't know if you tried to speak.
No, I didn't.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
There you go. Yep. Okay.
First time here, Mel.
Yeah. First time.
All right, cool,
Rookie.
cool, cool. What are you working on? Introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah. I'm just self-employed consultant, playing around with some avatars and for a project and with HeyGen and 11 Labs and
Okay,
just super interested trying to learn a few things and I like what you guys do, so I
nice,
signed up and check it out.
nice. How is your avatar creation going?
Um, today I'm gonna do the HeyGen part. I did
Okay,
hit the 11 Labs yesterday and did a voice and it sounds pretty good. I like it.
nice,
I saw the haven't done anything in HeyGen yet, but I got an account and
nice.
so I'm looking forward to getting in there.
Well, what is the use case you're looking to tackle? Is it going to be like for social media creation, or is it going to be something where you're going to upload this on your page for like interaction? What are your thoughts there?
It's going to be like for uh, a demo for like an investor pitch for a project
Mm.
that we've got going on.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so
I think maybe you can take is it going to be predetermined script, right? It's going to be
yeah,
something like
hmm
presenting
yeah,
your idea.
yeah. So just a predetermined script. Yeah, it's going to be presenting part of the idea.
Nice.
Just kind of to be a little different.
I love
And
that. I love that.
so.
Definitely make sure to stress test it before heading in there. But
Mhm.
HeyGen has been performing really nicely for us as well. I'm sure you've seen Julian's videos. He
Yeah,
uses that at least once a week. So
yeah.
we're pretty happy. And 11 Labs, like the voice transformation to do is pretty good.
hmm
Um, those are our go-to tools as well. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
introducing yourself, Mel. I don't think
yeah, no problem.
Andrew, have you been around before, or is this your first
No,
time as well?
no, that's my first time. I'm stuffing my face at the moment. I'm
Hey,
Sydney.
that's all
I'm
good.
based
That's
in
all
Sydney,
good.
but I'm in Australia as well. So it's getting later as well. So I'm a bit tired. But yeah, this is the first time.
hmm
This is the
You
first
got
time.
to
But
get some food in that belly, like I
that's
fully
right.
expect that.
Yeah, but first time. But loving so much about that AI sort of stuff, and big fan of Julian. Like just
Nice,
so part of the SEO board things as well. And just it's
nice,
just been such a good learning experience. Probably over
nice.
the last
So,
year and a half. I've got a legal background.
okay.
And like it's just getting older. Like I'm early 40s, um, and so it took me a while to catch up on a lot of the IT and computer sort of
Yeah,
stuff. I thought I had a pretty good working of Word doc and stuff that could get me through, and
yeah,
everything's changing. And then it's like, well, let's catch up. What's this ChatGPT thing about? And then it just
yeah.
the more learn and just explosion, and then to see what the effect that's going to have on things like legal profession, pretty much anything. Um,
It's an
and
insane
learning.
rabbit hole, is it not, Andrew? Like once
Uh,
you start learning, there's no end.
it's Australians. We're sort of dragging our feet, and there's still that sort of like,
Yeah,
oh no, that's going to be ages. They're still going to need this.
yeah,
It just makes up stuff like no one
yeah,
sort of appreciates like what it's actually done. Like I use it,
yeah,
and it's just like I'm sick of the legal profession. It's full of
yeah,
lawyers that I don't. Well, I think they're in real big trouble. Like, people
yeah.
don't need them. They're hopeless, and most of them. I know in Australia anyway,
Yeah,
the amount of human error that really affects cases as well. It's like the
absolutely.
big elephant in the room, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And even like just sort of the ability of it to sort of analyze a large amount of data,
yeah,
like even like discovery sort of process that could take months and months and months to do it. And even when I was a young lawyer, I used to go through documents and fall asleep. I used to miss stuff all the time, But
yeah.
now they just can analyze everything and the accuracy and stuff like that. And
It's insane.
they, it is just insane. And then learning
Yeah,
more about marketing and stuff like that. And there's going to be business opportunities and things, and that's really suited me as well. That want to get away from the profession or do it in a different way, and that's that,
Yeah.
and as well, but developing a business and, you know, SEO and all that sort of, it's all connected as well, you know, and so this has just been, there's so many opportunities. I know sort of an idea where I'm going, but yeah, there's just so much and stuff. And
honestly, Dave, you are spot on. Like, and it does feel to a point where it's kind of like a rat race about who gets to the best AI tool first, or kind of understands how to prompt it, you know, or how to get to
I
the
don't know how
best
Julian
solutions.
does it, you know, because it's just, you start learning, and it's taken me ages because I'm a bit older. Like, I feel like I'm slow. Like,
You're not old at all, man. What the hell are you talking about?
yeah, I know.
You're
But
in
you know,
your
like you see
prime.
the kids, and there's even Julian when he does his videos, he's so ding 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 ding, and it's like, shit, I need to catch up. And like some of it's like the truth, but you do get better. I mean, especially having to explain it on a video, that's probably the best way to learn it as well. So he must be so used to like Hey Jan and all stuff like that, because he's had to explain it. He knows we're so quick,
Yeah.
and I reckon, you know, I wish there was someone who would slow it down for us oldies or
Yeah.
something, you know, like you know, because I've sort of, I'll have like a few screens open, which is handy as well, because then I can watch that one, like have a look at it myself.
So
That
to be very honest with you,
every day,
Anthony,
it's like you learn something, and a week later, it's just, there's so much more advancements,
and
it's
everything
just
has changed.
unbelievable.
The whole
Like,
landscape.
everything's changed.
Yeah. So
It's just so quick.
yeah, to be very honest with you, I work with him on a daily, right? I work with him within the SEO agency as well as the AI automation part. I maintain / handle the account management team as well as the operations team. And with him, we're the two people that do the most, let's say, investigation or experimentation when it comes to AI. I
It's
cannot
like his
touch.
videos now, he's not even like learning it and then doing the video and the editing. He's just like, there's not enough time. There's just straight, let's put this video on, and he's learning it as he's videoing and stuff like that, 'cause there's so much.
I
I
can't
can see
keep
that
up
now.
with him. Okay,
He
he
needs to use
wakes up
his
at 3
avatar a bit
a.m.
more now, I think. So he's got that time, so he needs about 30 of them.
Absolutely, man. He wakes up at 3 a.m. Okay, and
That would surprise me. That would surprise me.
he lives in Bangkok, so he wakes up at 3 a.m.
Okay.
And that's like
Yeah.
I think around 10 p.m. for me, because I'm Central European right now. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he wakes up at a time where I'm about to go to bed. By the time I wake up, the man has produced 3
Yeah,
videos,
that's
and he's
right.
like, Vic, you need to catch up today, because today we're going to be using Genspark to create a presentation. And I'm like, it's like 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's right. It's just, and that's what it is. It's just
Yeah,
absolutely insane. It's really hard to know what to then sort
yeah,
of like put a lot of work in, because it's just,
I
like, you know, like by the time people, like, you know, when I'm going to be a prompt engineer when I grow, and it's like,
yeah,
oh, that job's been gone like years ago now. It
yeah,
feels like
yeah.
it. You know, like, why do you need that? You can, and then this job's
But
like no longer needed, and then you learn this sort of stuff, and
yeah,
the next minute these agents where they're taking over your
yes,
screen, they're doing it, and you just sit back like.
yeah.
Like, I know
One of
that's going
the
to happen. No one's going to have jobs. No one's going to have jobs, but there might be that sort of oversight. And I think it's really interesting with law, like where I think things will go, because, you know, like America and UK and stuff is that adversarial system, Australia, where there's sort of two parties fighting off against each other. It's not what
yeah,
actually happened or anything like that. Like the stuff like, you know, what really happened, and having a judgment like that, it's
yeah.
what the parties present. But I think we will move to that inquisitorial, would be AI that will find out the facts, and that will be determined, and be the oversight and make sure things. And I think long term, like, you can see the sort of legal professions really sort of like having their like load moments, going,
Yeah.
shit, we're going to lose a lot, and we're
It's
no
not
longer
just
going to be able
legal.
to charge these rates. You know, so they're trying to be protectionists, but
Absolutely.
it's going eventually it's going to roll them, and it's
Yeah.
going to be like huge societal sort of shifts. But even
Yeah.
for like just like where
It's not just legal though. It's like,
no, well,
so
that's
yeah,
right. It's what anyone
yeah,
who thinks, but then the developing, you know, the
yeah,
robot stuff, like, you know, and you know, you talk about the infrastructure that's there for scaling, like humanoids, and you know, all the things that people say, oh, they're not be able to do that. Like I
yeah,
do a bit of industrial kind of construction sort of stuff, and they're like,
yeah,
they're going to do that, and they no, that might be too hard to build, you know, with
yeah,
robots when they set up that as well. You see cars now in the manufacturing. It used to be
yeah.
lots of people used to put on that. Now it's all automated. So it would be exactly the same with building everything. People's jobs are going to go, and we need to, it's not just that, you know, you
Yeah,
hear that story.
absolutely, man. I agree with you.
AI is not going to take our job. It's like someone who knows AI.
Yeah,
No, it's going
yeah,
to take your job too, but unless
yeah.
you change your thinking big time.
But
And it's that oversight.
there is a huge positive to you, Mel, Arnett, Dave, and every 600 other, you know, individual that is within the AI Profit Boardroom, or any other, you know, kind of AI school that you're in. The reason
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that being is you're actually at least trying to stay up to trend, trying to stay up to speed. You know,
Yeah, I don't know if it's willful blindness as well that other people, like I said, Australia, are just dragging their feet like this.
yeah, dipping your toes, right?
And all my algorithms are obviously about this stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Uh,
especially when I go out of it and I step out of my bubble, I talk to other
yeah.
people, and I'm just like,
So
and they're like, "What's that? ChatGPT?" And then I heard the joke as well just recently that ChatGPT means in French, like I shout to my cat or something like that. Chat GP, it's like your cat, shit cat or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like they're still doing these stupid meme shit. Do you know?
yeah,
Like you're in serious trouble.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, so I do want to quickly just one thing,
I'll
Andrew.
shut up.
Like I think you mentioned that you were looking to use AI specifically around like your law practice or anything from that
Yeah,
regard.
well, especially with this is going. I mean, it's a good thing at the moment in some respects in the profession that, it's all those admin stuff, right? Like drafting submissions and all that sort of stuff. The real sort of, when you haven't slept for, 80, 90-hour weeks, that sort of thing. It's just draining. That
Mhm.
now because AI is really quick in just drafting stuff like that. So it's that there's a lot more
Yeah,
sort of career satisfaction in the legal profession, like people using that because that stuff gets done so quick, so you can move to something that really matters. So I'm sort of going off in that direction as well, like and
yeah,
wanting
yeah,
to business to be able to show that pretty much you can run businesses with one or two people and all back end admin stuff, all that sort of AI, but
yeah,
learning about marketing and even things like some of these apps and stuff where you can make money
yeah,
as well. It's all quite relevant to your web pages and stuff like that how they use like to get back links and learn some of this stuff and develop some pages which have been mucking around with and that sort of stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, love Julian's sort of stuff and have him having that SEO background.
yeah,
I mean, it makes it easier because his work is his business the SEO. So he'll do an SEO tool or something like that, and he gets a lot of traffic, and then he
it does.
reverts back to his. But not many people are sort of I don't know if maybe free AI, free legal work, and that will refer back to my page or something. But
There is a couple of things that I would actually suggest to you when it comes to what you might where I would advise you to take a look at first, specifically because of your niche and kind of like what it sounds to me. I would actually advise you to take. Have you had a chance to take a look at Notebook LM from Google?
yeah, definitely. It's because that's the same thing. Like where do you put everything? It's so much
Yes,
that
yes,
really helps, and that's probably like that's one of the things that it is very handy. That sort of, and it's getting better. I think it will development get better and it'll be easy to use it. I think those sort of things where it be like that one-stop shop. So their capabilities will be a lot better eventually, but it's a good place to put everything. And then
yeah,
that notebook's got all that stuff, and that's got that stuff because otherwise it's just you have to organize it.
yeah.
But yeah, at the moment as well, I've just been like mucking around with blogs and things just to practice and setting up
Yeah,
pages
yeah.
for practice and that just to learn.
I would definitely advise you to take a look at there. And one thing that I want to kind of share with the group, and this, I just did this test while we were talking. Lately, I've been really loving Genspark. And Mel, this might also go into what you were talking about earlier, maybe presenting like we're preparing a investor pitch or whatever. I just used some data, some old data from our account management team, one of the teams that I oversee, and I slapped it into Genspark. And I'm actually going to show you guys how sloppy of a job I did. And I intentionally tried to do as sloppy as I could, just so that you guys can see the beauty that it created. Okay, so first I'm going to show you the spreadsheet, and again, I apologize. I know it looks very, very poo. Okay. So these are just random numbers. I created this spreadsheet for this example that I wanted to present to you. It's basically kind of looking at like numbers from April into May, right? Because we're April into May. And I went to Genspark and I said, hey, Genspark, use this data to create a dashboard for my AM team. I want to include, copy pasted it, and didn't say anything else. I said, I currently have it in Excel, right? Guys, look at this beauty that it created and tell me that it doesn't look magnificent. Like it created all sorts of overviews. It created like toggleable things, as you
Yeah,
can see.
yeah,
Total,
totally. Yeah, that's just
it's so beautiful and it works per account manager. As you can see, like I can actually click them, right? And this is just an idea for you guys what you can do. Maybe if you're looking to present something, you have some data, you want to use it in any way. I think that I would definitely recommend you guys take, and as you can see, it's just now generated, like the 9th of May. So I would definitely recommend that you guys start playing around with Genspark a little bit for sure.
So when you now you produce that inside of Genspark.
Yeah.
Now where do you Where would
deploy
you
it.
take it from there? Yes.
Yeah,
Like where,
that's a great question. So there are two ways that you can do it, but I need to be very transparent with you, okay? So the first thing is you can click this little button here that says open in a new window, right? And when I click
Yep.
it uses a temporary page, as you can see up here, to display my result. However, this will not exist forever, especially if you're on the free version. So right now, I'm logged on a free version. Don't even know if I can show you that, but basically right now I'm logged on a free version because I just wanted you to see, yeah, I think here, if I
Yep.
click, I wanted you to see, yeah, as you can see, I'm on the free one, your current plan, right? So I just wanted you to see what you can create within a day of just doing this, right? So
Yep.
when I honestly, I need to go and find now the result that I created. So it's right here, right? So when I created it, right, and this will only exist temporarily, but what you can do is you can export it as PDF.
Okay.
And that way
Okay.
you can have it for yourself.
Does it still have that same, like the little pop?
Let's do it together. Let's see. Okay, so it's generating PDF, large file. Just give it a sec. While it's generating, what I wanted to say though is if you use a paid version, you can actually ask it to deploy this because, and there we go, it just downloaded it. They're not going to be hoverable, of course, because it's a PDF, but it looks absolutely the same, right? So I think that the downside of this would be you won't be able to toggle them, but this is the advantage.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, toggle
Yeah.
doesn't have that PDF. It steals it.
Yeah, I could have.
But if you have a paid version, what can you do?
You can ask it to give you the code so that you can deploy it. Actually, I can even show you the code. So the code is right here. It's not gated behind anything.
It's like a web page too.
Yes. So you can use this code and you can go to a page like netlify, etc., and you can deploy it fully. You know, so here's the thinking process. So as you can see, I need to create an HTML dashboard, right? And this is what it did. I'm going to visualize the following data for each team member, right? I'm going to create a responsive layout with Tailwind CSS, right? And it just basically told me everything that it was going to do. And you can then use the code and you can host it somewhere if you want to present it, like you were saying, Mel, to investors or whoever you would want to talk to. Yeah. Hi, Tim. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We were just quickly running through a simulation of Genspark here. And Tim left. maybe I should have said hi to Tim. I'm sorry, Tim. But anyways, yeah, this is super powerful. But what I wanted to also show you guys is, for example, I tried to do this 2 days ago as well, because I wanted to use this example for you guys so that you can see it on a free version. If I go to this, as you can see, I use the exact same data, right? Exact same data, like I just showed you. When I click on view, I can no longer view it, right? Because as I said, this is only temporarily viewable. But if I go to the code still exists. So just keep in mind that if you create anything with a free version, you can always download the code and you can use that code to just deploy it elsewhere, right?
You can deploy it, yeah.
And what was the platform that you mentioned, Netlify?
I can send you the links. I'll actually send you a couple of links. There's Netlify, there's LiveWeave. I'm going to send you a couple of these links where you can actually deploy stuff, because it's going to be useful for you to bookmark these regardless of what you're looking to do or how you're looking to proceed moving forward. One sec. Here you go. So you have JS Fiddle, you have Netlify, you have Vercel, and you have LiveWeave. Personally, it's going to be up to you which one you prefer. You're going to look at them for what they are. In some of them, you need to drag and drop, for example, a folder with the code. In other ones, you need to manually copy paste the code. Just play around with it and you're going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Arnett, you asked, are you able to implement this in a PowerPoint presentation and keynotes? And I love that question. And let me show you something. So I can't do it on a free version. And but what I will show you is, and I think it was this video. So give me a sec. Let me scroll through it to be able to show you. In this video, and it's one of the latest lessons that's been added, but basically in this video, and I'm just going to mute it because I don't want all of us kind of losing our ears, but basically Julian asks Abacus, Deep Agent, or God Mode, depending on what you want to call it, to create a presentation. And at the same time, he does the same, and I'm going to show you the results. He does the same with Genspark. So this right here is the Abacus Deep Agent presentation. It doesn't look that good. But look on the right side, this right here, and I think he's going to show it a little bit more. Yeah, this is the presentation that Genspark creates. So like if you just watch this lesson, you're going to be able to understand exactly what I mean. But if you give it the right prompt, and I think he kind of shows the prompt very early on here. Yeah, here's the prompt. If you give this prompt, and this is included in the lesson as well, you will be able to actually slap this in Genspark, and you're going to get very beautiful presentations that you're absolutely going to love.
Do you guys have it like a prompt library, like an easy one?
Yes.
Nice and organized all together?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's called Master List of Prompts. That exists currently in the SOP section, the SOP whole collection. And we're continuously going to add their prompts just so that you're able to build on them. But also, every single lesson, most of the time, is going to include the prompt in there. So, for example, let me share my screen again.
Yeah, that's right. But still, that's also in the library.
Yeah. So, like this that I just showed you, right, with the presentations, if you scroll down, here's the prompt for the presentation, right? So you can just, of course, use it in your own use case, change it a little bit, tweak it, right? But it will create very beautiful presentation. I think Arnett dropped the question in chat on this, so I just wanted to make sure that I answered him. The name of the lesson, I can do you even better. I'll just send you the link of the lesson. How about that?
So, yeah, keep sending it for
there you go. But yeah, absolutely blown away by Genspark. To be honest, I've been using it a lot, and I really wanted to show this live, kind of like case of it creating a very beautiful dashboard. And like, again, these are older numbers, as you can see, like the data is from 2023, but it's also kind of made up. But I absolutely love it. The hoverability, like, you know, the layout, the colors, understanding that churn is a negative value, right? Understanding that upsell is a positive value, and just the comparisons that it gives. I don't know. I'm super, super, super happy.
What was the prompt for that one? Do you mind if we know what the prompt is? So yeah, that sort of.
You're gonna laugh. The prompt for this is absolutely atrocious because there is no prompt.
You don't need to be prompt engineer. That's what I meant.
That's what I'm telling you. This is the beauty of Genspark right now. And let me share my screen so you can see. This is why I wanted to do it so transparently.
You sort of want to know if when you do write sort of things, you sort of when you write the prompt,
look at how simplistic
you sort of want to know that these good colors are coming or what are we going to use.
There's
some consistency with your brand.
Completely agree with you. I copy pasted the same exact thing that I did like a couple of days ago because I wanted to see if it was going to do the beautiful thing it did. I want you to create a dashboard and then took all of this data here and just copy pasted pasted it right in here. And what happened is I only wrote this. I currently have it in the I didn't say anything else. It asked me a question like, let me confirm, blah, blah, blah. Since creating this dashboard will take some time and credits to generate properly, would you like me to proceed building it as an HTML file? Make sure that sometimes, and I've noticed this, sometimes it does it in Python. So one of the things that I would recommend to you, and I did it in one of the other use cases, is always specify HTML if it doesn't do it itself. And then, like Julian would say, boom shakalaka, you know, it went into thinking, started thinking, wrote the code right here, which is, again, copyable. You can very easily just click, you know, the copy button up top. 1 second, let me scroll up top. So you can literally very easily click copy on this, have it as an HTML code, and deploy it, and there you go. Welcome, JP. How you doing?
1 second. Sorry.
It's all good.
I just find the right thing.
Half the room is eating. Everyone's starving.
Well, that's because you guys have moved the date.
I'm sorry. I was sick. I'm sick. I was sick. I'm sorry. I had a fever. What can I do? You know, sometimes it happens.
Hold on.
JP,
you're not allowed to be sick. I'm joking.
Listen, even robots get sick. What can I do? But I was trying to say, JP, we mentioned Notebook a little bit ago. Guys, I need to give a shout out to JP. JP is the one that kind of unlocked our brains when it comes to Notebook because we were sleeping on it a little. And now Julian has already done like 3 or 4 videos. The reason for that is we never found a good use case for Notebook. But JP came in about 2 weeks ago, I think, JP, and you spat some knowledge, you spat some facts, and now I cannot stop praising it. We actually now use it on a daily, which is so funny, JP. So thank you so much for that.
I'm really pleased. I'm going to get back at you on that because I'm still trying to. Because I've got a. Firstly, I hope you feel better. That's the most important thing.
I feel a lot better today. Thank you.
And there's been a lot that's been going on. I can't even keep up.
Yeah,
which is a bit crazy. Genspark, one of the things we've been working on a couple of things there, but one of the things that is a little difficulty is that you've got to Genspark, say in a website build is really good, then into Lovable to then back out, etc. Because when I got it in Genspark and then I went back to try and find the link of them deploying it within Genspark, it then runs it again and gives you a whole different site, and
They're
that's the
connecting
problem.
that with Genspark, yep.
Yeah.
So they,
So you've got to get the code out there once you've done it.
Yeah.
Because if you try to get back to the link, it'll give you something completely different,
or just not work. But yeah.
Yeah. But then getting that code and then throwing it into a lovable, that tidies that code, lovable too, which is what you brought up the other week.
Yeah.
Really helps with that.
Yeah,
So that's good. But what I'm stuck with, just to throw it out there, is the quick and easy way of deploying a site, so that so you know you can keep on seeing those iterations of that site. I'm not sure what you use to do that.
Yeah,
that would be great.
So you mean just like take the HTML and deploy it so that the website exists?
So the website exists. I mean, listen. I mean, I've got URLs. I'm just waiting for them to be released, and then I can actually put it live. So there's two things. One, so you can see it, and the other one is then how you then get that code, say, into Hostinger. That would be helpful.
Yeah. So some of the platforms that we use for deployment of HTML, I just shared this like 10 minutes ago.
Sorry.
We have live. No. Never apologize. We have Liveweave, Netlify, JS Fiddle, Vercel. Like it really depends what type of how you have the code saved. I'm just gonna relink what I linked like a few moments ago here in chat so that you can take a look. But I would actually advise just taking a look at these platforms.
Okay.
And if these don't work for you, JP, drop me a message and we can so that I can understand why they don't work for you. But other than that, you know, you're going to be able to very easily deploy. If you're using stuff like bolt.new, it actually has a self-deployment area as well. So maybe something to keep in mind, right? You can deploy it and host it through them. You just need a paid plan, I think. But there are a lot of options. So just if none of these work for you for whatever reason, drop me a message and we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of research. I mean, Hostinger for me seems to be the place to go because it is. I mean, you can deploy 100 sites there pretty efficiently.
Yeah.
The next to nothing. So that's why I'd always try and get migrated across them, just because their pricing is silly.
Which one was that? Sorry.
Hosting.
Hosting, yeah, good.
I'll drop you a link on it right now.
Hosting it, we did a lot of research, and you just, you know, if you're now with what you guys were saying, with what yourself and Julian were saying, which is, you know, you can run lots of SaaS businesses and all kinds of other stuff, and if you're gonna do that, you know, a hosting site that gives you 100 sites for next to nothing just means, you know, you keep it all in one place and it's tidy. So there is no other place to go otherwise.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I always find is a problem is like, because there's so much out there and stuff like that, and there's you know, I don't fault them, but there's a lot of, you know, people seeking affiliate sort of links, and so they're all talking things up, and it's really hard to then find that one that's really, really good or something like that, you know, like.
Yeah, that's why if you're going to notice, Andrew, any of the links I send, they're never /affiliate or like use my.
I don't care if they are affiliated, but you know, it's just good.
No, but when you come on these chats, like I very clearly tell you, for example, hey, if you want to sign up to Go High Level, I can give you an affiliate link, but otherwise I can tell you the pros and cons of Go High Level, right? Yeah, same with Lutra, same with Lindy, same with Manus, Genspark,
out there,
whatever tool it is.
And there's just everyone's just talking up everything, you know, like.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There's so much out there, and you know, to hear you guys even just say that's great, you know.
So
you got to send check.
It's fantastic. Cheers, mate.
You got to send check for yourself, but it is hard with these little iterations. You know, I mean, Genspark, absolutely. I still want to get into the ChatLM general one, but we still haven't, but you've got to get your prompt really right. I did send across to Vic the initial code that I thought of. I don't know if you managed to post it, see if anyone else wants to work on it with us.
I think I recommended that you post, but I'll take a look. Okay, I don't remember by heart if I did that.
No, it was probably the fact I still haven't got my way. That was my last question from my last talk was, can you talk us through your site a little bit better? Because then I'll know it's not just posting stuff, but it's just making sure we use the right protocols for how Skool is set up, if that makes sense.
I get you. The thing with Skool is you're free to post in general almost anything. Like the things that I would say don't do are, of course, like very heavy self-promotion or like hatred, you know, like stuff that are outside of the scope of us trying to learn together, improve each other, you know, stuff like this. But if you're trying to help the community, like you are very free to drop like, hey guys, this is something we developed. What do you think about using it? XYZ. You get me? So in that regard, absolutely feel free whenever you have something, JP. But what I wanted to tell Andrew, and just a second, I'm gonna dial it back here, is from our current research, and every week, Andrew, depending on how often you come, you're gonna hear me maybe change the statement, and that's just the reality of AI right now.
Yeah.
But what we recommend right now, when it comes to tools, we say DeepSeek right now, very disappointing, borderline dead. I wouldn't recommend it at all.
That's what we said
Manus,
about Claude not that long ago, I think, as well.
it
though.
was, and this is how
It
fast
wasn't.
things change, you know. Manus, a little bit too expensive for what you can get with other tools at a lot lower cost. Abacus Deep Agent, a little bit too slow right now and a little bit not as independent as we would want it, aka God mode. Pretty good, just not as autonomous. Genspark, really good, but super limited on how long things exist. So once you create it, you need to either export it, save the code, download it, whatever. And then when it comes to the more general use ones, ChatGPT, I don't know if other people have noticed this, but it's a little bit slow for the past week.
Yeah.
The
really.
good part about ChatGPT is you can create your custom GPTs. That is a big advantage for specific use cases. That is good. And for general writing, Claude. So this is like a TLDR of some of the most common used ones. Notebook LM is the best for hosting all of your data and using it like a training tool or using it like, I don't know, like a mind map or whatever you want to use it. Really good. And this is like kind of the things that I'm going to cover. There are a lot other ones, right? Like Suna, Lutra, Lindy, like, I don't know, there are too many, Vercel, whatever. But these are kind of like the few I shared now are the ones I would focus on.
So the other ones are the derivatives, but the one that I think you missed out on, which I have in my back pocket because you told me about, is using within AI Studio the new iterations of Gemini, because
Gemini is
that
really
1
good.
million token window is nuts.
Yeah, I agree with you. The thing about Gemini is really good at almost anything, but there isn't anything that we use it for that we would say is the best for.
Yeah.
Just because we don't really focus on coding or we don't really use the reasoning windows up like fully, you know. So for us, Gemini is amazing when you want to try a different answer to a question, or like you've already tried it elsewhere and you want to compare it to Gemini. I think Gemini does have the potential, just because it's under Google, to be the best, because Google is absolutely a trillion gazillion dollar company, right?
Yeah.
But right now there isn't a use case, and maybe you disagree, JP, and that's or whoever in the group, and that's completely fine. For us, there isn't a use case where we say Gemini 2.5 right now is the best at for us again.
It depends on your pain point. I did use Genspark spreadsheets yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you mentioned that already on the call.
Yeah.
That's boo-boo. That's weird, amazing.
I am in love with Genspark for the past week, and this, I think my love changes on a weekly basis. So maybe all of these AI tools think I'm a cheater or something, but I am in love with Genspark, and I've been creating so many dashboards for my teams right now for work that look so beautiful, as well as presentations. Like, this is our main use case right now, and it helps me because I have way too many Excel sheets and I want to make them visually appealing to both Julian, because with Julian, we take a look at revenue every single day, you know, about cash flow and everything, but also to my team so that they understand, hey, we're having a couple of dips, you know, how are we going to improve this? Where are you going to go look for cash? What are we going to do about upsells? So it's just, I use Notebook for the teaching part, and I use Genspark for the visualization part right now on my side.
That's great. And the other great thing, just to add in there, is I collect huge amounts of data over the years, and I've kept them on drives and stuff like that. And, you know, would I go back to them necessarily? No, but now I would, because things like Genspark or whatever can really aggregate stuff. So you can say, I've got these 10 sheets, put it all in one sheet for the stuff that I need, and you can so you're suddenly thinking, I didn't go back to this because I wasn't happy with the first route of doing it.
Yeah.
But now I don't have to sit there and redesign it, because those data points can be taken by Genspark and put into something which is so much more better and visual, etc. And it becomes useful again. So repurposing old data is possible now.
It is. And really quickly, I didn't say hello, Mana. I think it's your first time here. If it isn't, I'm sorry, but I don't remember you. I host almost all of these. So welcome, welcome. Very nice of you to be here. If you want to unmute or say anything, feel free. As you can see, it's a free-flowing conversation. Last week, I think because it was on a Wednesday, we had around 20 people join us. This week, I had to move it because I was a little bit sick on Wednesday, so I do apologize. But moving forward, guys, they're going to be on Wednesdays. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to move them with Julian a little bit later on Wednesdays so that we can also get some of our friends from the US join us a little bit easier. Now, Andrew, for you, I know that's a little bit inconvenient because you are in Australia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to divide them. So for example, 2 weeks, we do it closer to better for US hours. And then 2 weeks, we do it better for EU and Asia hours, just as a heads up. But yeah, guys, feel free. Keep on chatting.
Yeah, Vic. Yeah, Vic. You mentioned like Claude and ChatGPT, and then Gemini, and so I was going to ask that question, like maybe thinking about just focusing on two, instead of having so many and playing around. And what do you think about that? And it's expensive, isn't it? It starts to add up too.
Great question. I agree with you, Mel. Like that is one of the biggest pain points for if you are not doing this as part of your work, everyday research with all of these AI tools, the costs ramp up incredibly, right? Like, so what I would say is, I would say do the following. Sit down and understand what are your use cases, right? Early on, we spoke with you. It was about like using HeyGen and 11 Labs, right? Creating something there. In terms of ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and whatever other resource you're looking at subscribing, I would say the following. Do a little note down of what are your use cases. When you take a look at the use cases, feel free to drop me a message on Skool. I try to reply daily. If I don't reply to you within a day, it'll be the next day for sure. Drop me a note with your use cases and where you're currently thinking of using them. For example, if you have an idea of, hey, I want to have a chat that always replies to me with issues within one field. Let's call that field, I don't know, like lymphatic wound management, whatever. Then I would say to you, create a custom GPT and feed it with all of the PDF in the knowledge base that is applicable to that use case. And within the prompting part, aka where you kind of give it the knowledge base or the information of how to respond, you teach it. You are a medical assistant. You will be answering questions within this and this. Use the knowledge to answer any of my questions. Do not ask me or ask me stuff back, like whatever way you want it to do. That would be your best use case. But if you're telling me, Vic, I want to use an AI to write my blogs and my social media content. Absolutely, Mel, I'm going to tell you, you're going to do this in Claude. You can do it with whatever you want, but with Claude, you're always going to nail the word count. You're always going to nail the human touch to it. You're always going to nail the separation between H1, H2, H3, and you're always going to nail keyword density. A lot of these things are super important for SEO, right? So it really depends on the use cases. And then for Gemini, like if you told me, hey, I want to use it a lot more for coding or whatever, I can find you a use case there as well. So what I'm going to tell you, Mel, is draft a little note of all of the use cases you're trying to include, and we can find the two best tools for you so that you don't need to, branch out to 50 of them, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that sound good?
The other thing that sounds great.
Awesome.
I appreciate that. The other thing that I was going to ask you guys is like I'm stuck in the kind of the Apple ecosystem in terms of iPhone and all that, right?
Okay.
And then
Same.
Yeah, so I'm there, but one of the people that I work with, is heavy into the Google Workspace.
Okay.
So I'm both. I got Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, and I got all, and then there's these LLMs that interact or interface or connect well. And so how are you guys kind of managing that in terms of just how they're connected? Some of these LLMs connect better with Google, or
absolutely.
We need to say
it seems like Apple's not in it.
MCP now.
Just one sec, JP, before the MCP, because that might be a little bit more complex. So what I'm going to say to you, Mel, is very simple and very direct. I have everything Google up here, as you can see, but I'm on a Mac, right? Okay. So I use Google Docs and Google Sheets and Google Drives all the freaking time, okay? Like everything is in here for me, right? What I'm going to say is I would very much recommend, if it's possible for you for simplicity, and how do I say, uniformity, then
Yeah.
you just do Google stuff if it works for you. If, however, you are for whatever reason limited or have to use anything that's Apple or Mac native, like iOS native, there are a lot of tools that can help you with like transferring them or whatever. I personally super happy with everything on my MacBook through Google. Nothing changes, no problems, no,
I think
everything
the
works
change
for me.
to Google is a
What do
good
you do?
idea,
What do
Bill.
you do with notes? How do you like? I use notes a lot. What do you use on the Google
Great
side?
question. So I'm going to ask you this before I answer. What do you use your notes for? Is it because of your meetings like this one, like virtual meetings? Or is it because of, for example, you're talking to someone and then you come up with an idea on the street and it doesn't, is it because of online calls or is it because of
No,
anything else that you take notes?
no, it's not for online calls.
Not for online calls. Then what I'm going to say is I also use the notepad. I just use the notepad from, the notes section from, what is it called? From Apple itself. And whenever I need a note, you can actually export them and just send it like that. There is I think the button is called share.
Yeah.
You can just share it via mail, via whatever it is, and you're good.
That's really good. That was my intuition. That was my instinct to just say it just seems like Google works is the way to go.
It's really good. Like we are huge proponents of anything and everything that is like docs or sheets online, just because it's so easy to create a new one. Like something that a lot of people don't understand is simplicity is the way to go. And one of the best things for you to be able to advance or do things fast is, and I'm going to show you my screen so that you can understand what I mean. A lot of people think that in order to start a new document, you need to go like this, then you need to find it here, right? Not at all. Just do docs.new, boom, new document. Just do sheets.new, new sheet. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, this is how fast you can move.
I definitely go to Google, like the investment to go over as well, because it's like a sleeping giant as well. Like you've got all these different ones that are developing, but Google's got that much money, and where it's going to be in a month as well. Like whatever's good over here, they're going to like come out with something that's amazing. That's all integrated and the ease and that sort of one-stop shop. I think Google's, and it's I found I had the same problem, and it was all it was all mixed transfer of everything that I was doing. But once I made that commitment to go over to Google, and that's my main infrastructure, and I've sort of like practice and learn from new things that come up. But expecting that Google is going to get its own like amazing version or something better, and an update on one of their programs or something like that sooner or later. Like
one of the things that I'm going to tell you, Mel, and this is how we do it with Julian, and I can't really share my screen to go too into depth with it, but if you saw how quickly I opened the docs, that's how we usually do when it comes to note taking. The only time I use notes is when I have my iPhone with me and I'm out and about and I need to take a note. Otherwise, if I'm sitting on my Mac, I just do a docs and I had 3 screens, by the way, guys. Like you can't see them, but one screen is here. You guys are in the middle on my laptop, and then I have a screen here where I present stuff. So the way I do it is one of the tabs is always a docs new. For example, this whole session I've been taking notes. Even though I have my Fathom note taker here, that's how I take notes. And the simplicity of that is I can actually have that link shareable. And for example, I can send it to you guys and I can be like, everyone, please put your thoughts here. And now, boom, all of a sudden we have like a joint workspace of note taking, And this is just the beauty of figuring out new ways how you can do very simple tasks, right? But
Sorry.
No, I'm listening. Please, I'm listening.
I'd add to that. I agree with my Australian friend and with Vic. I've been way before AI. I've been using the Google. I did a lot of work on how I wanted to run my business or businesses, and Google Workspace. It was outstanding 5 years ago. Then because they really gave you one-to-one administrator coverage and stuff like that, so you could really go to Google, somebody pick up the phone and really help you through setting it all up, like mail, aliases, all the other stuff. I mean, they really have thought of everything. And it's a really good place, I think, much better than Microsoft to run a business, because I tried to do it for another business on Microsoft, and it was just a pain in the ass. So that's one great thing. The other thing is it used to be Google Workspaces. They're now updating that. And the other thing is the biggest database anyone ever has, and I've got over 45 email addresses in Gmail, is the fact that it is now with Gemini becoming a database. So I can now go back. I mean, I have no end of emails and everything else like that, But with Gemini sitting on top of it, I can go back to anything, and not as a search, but really as an AI saying, okay, I need to know everything about every email my wife wrote to me about my divorce. But not just, I don't want you to read it to me. I want you to see pattern recognition, all kinds of stuff. Because if you write the right, if you write the right prompt, it's super powerful, and you don't even have to copy that data in, because your biggest database is your email.
And I'm pretty sure that's going to keep going with Google. Like,
absolutely.
The money's going to talk, and like that's going to have these. Like, it's just going to be amazing. Like, it's going to continue developing. So keep Google as your main, and absolutely, you can try other things.
I'd add to that. I think he's absolutely right. But also, Google buy.
Google buys them. Yeah, if it's something we can't make, we're going to buy them.
Absolutely.
And that's what the AI businesses want to be bought out. Look what GPT. Look what Altman did this week, the 3 billion purchase. Yeah, and so you're staying in the
figures, aren't they? They're just pretty small figures, but they've got that money, It's just like
exactly
incredible.
So you're betting on gold, both with anchoring in that system, and also knowing that if they don't, they will buy it, and that's what these other companies want them to do, is get their own, exit multiple.
Yeah, and to finalize that thought, and that whole thought process there. The great thing about all of this, Mel, is when you create a uniform database, like JP was saying, like Andrew is hinting at, you can actually know for a fact that once Gemini and or Notebook and or whatever the hell Google comes up with, you're going to have uniform access to all of it. So the power of you being able to drop a single prompt tomorrow in Gemini 4 or whatever that AI is going to be called at that point, is going to be insane, because what you're going to be able to do, and we know this for a fact that this is where AI is moving towards, you're going to be able to say, I want you to use the 7 latest emails with the 3 latest documents I created, as well as this and this sheet, and create a presentation. And absolutely, it's going to be able to do that for you. And you're no longer going to be thinking, how do I drag this? How do I create this? How do I find this data? And as a matter of fact, it's all going to be in one single place. So double down on it. This is, again, please, just like financial advice, this is just advice that all of us are giving.
No, that's good.
It's all up to you.
I was thinking it seemed intuitively like this
the logical
makes too
thing,
much
right?
sense. Just
the only
I even thought about getting rid of my iPhone. I'm saying, like,
no,
just wait, because Apple's got a shitload of money too, and so is Microsoft. One day,
don't get rid of Apple. Yo, listen, I love my iPhone. Right now, you wouldn't believe it. I'm actually using my iPhone as a camera. Like, look at how I'm moving it. My iPhone is my camera. Like, do not get rid of it. You can do so many crazy things with it. Okay.
Yeah. And it's nice. MacBook, iPad, all that.
I bought a professional camera. I'm switching to it now. Look at this. This looks poop. Okay. And this, and I'm going to change it again, and I'm going to show you the FaceTime from the Mac. This as well does not look well on my face. Okay. And then when I use the iPhone, it just looks so crisp. Like, I feel like I have a tan. I look handsome. So do not change your iPhone at all, okay?
Oh, that's amazing. Do you guys use any of these general deals for like TickTick or like a general like a all-encompassing hub of where you've got Todoist or
I see what you mean.
Do you guys use any of that, or you guys working?
Yes, that is a great question. So actually, I'm going to give you an answer of what we use, but also what I would recommend. So I'm assuming you're kind of alluding towards like a project management place or like a content management system. Yeah. So I'm going to be very honest with you. I am a huge lover and proponent of Notion if you're looking to use a specific database where you can visualize stuff, where you can have assignees, etc. Currently, within Goldie Agency, we actually use Trello as a project management system. However, it does have its good pros and cons, let's say. For our CRM, we use, and we are huge advocates of Go High Level, or GHL for short. Go High Level is super good when it comes to creating automations around outreach, around nurture of clients, around like anything and everything you can think of. So super huge advocates of that. And if I were to choose a better project management system rather than Trello, I would be looking at stuff like Asana or stuff like Monday. They're really good. It's just different use cases. And then to round it out for our communication system, we actually use Discord. And there is a reason for this. Discord is free and it is insanely good for you to set up a trillion, billion, gazillion channels. Compared to like Slack, as soon as your company grows, or if you want to invite an outsider to work on a project, insanely, it ramps up the costs a lot. Discord can do this for free. Skype is no longer with us, so rest in peace, Skype. So that's done. We don't use Teams. A lot of big corporations like Teams. We don't use Teams. So yeah, that to round it out. For communication, Discord. For our project management, right now it's Trello, but we're looking to move away from that. For our CRM, it's Go High Level. And currently our entire database exists in Drive, but I'm a proponent of Notion, just as an idea.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Arnet, you absolutely can. Notion has an API that you can connect with N8N. I think Zapier and Make both have native nodes for Notion. You can do a lot of stuff there with it as well. All right, team. If everyone is okay, because my throat is getting a little bit dry, let's do for another 2-3 minutes, round it out like 5 minutes before 2 p.m. for me. So if you have any final questions or anything you'd like to add, shoot. If not, next week, it's going to be Wednesday as the standard time for our Q&A. You can bring as many questions as you want. But yeah, if anyone has anything, go for it.
Question for you.
Go.
Just for a focus, I don't know if you mentioned Scout.new.
I didn't mention Scout. To be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to really play around with Scout. That was a little bit of Julian's kind of project. I know he released the video, and I'm going to link the video here for you guys to be able to take a look. Haven't had too much chance to play around with it. Julian liked it, but this is a project for me for this weekend. So I'm not able to.
I like it as well, and it's still free.
Yeah, it is.
So I know we have been bitch slapping it, but we've been close to it. It's important just to get our data sets right. Yeah. And then obviously computer use. There was something on Hugging Face about a new computer use tool.
There was, yeah.
That was the other thing. If you got any color on that, Julian used it the other day. I haven't had a chance to go and have a look. He said it was slower, but I don't really have an issue with slow because you can run stuff overnight.
Yeah, the biggest problem with that, JP, was it took actually like an hour and a half for a simple prompt. So it's not only slow, but it's really inefficient right now. I know what you're talking about, but I would very much advise we give it a little bit of time, just because it would be pointless. You're not going to achieve much.
What would be the computer use solution that you'd go to at the moment? Because I'm still trying to find a solution for using Outlook Mail that you can't do a mail merge with, and so you've got to literally do each and every one singularly, and that can only be done at the moment with computer use because I can't get the Microsoft Outlook permissions because that would give away what I'm doing. Sorry, but it is what it is.
No. I get what you're saying. I'm gonna have to think about that use case for you, just because it's kind of difficult for me to give you a direct answer.
That was just in case anyone knew on the call, just because.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone else wants to pitch in, but my biggest thing right now, JP, would be, I have told this to Julian, I stay a little bit away from computer use for now until I fully understand it a little bit better and I understand what's going on. Claude MCP is looking really powerful. Of course, it's a little bit different from like actual computer use in the sense of maybe what you're looking for. But let me have a think about that. Like specifically for Outlook, you're trying to aggregate some data, I'm guessing, without giving.
No, for Outlook, I need to send a lot of emails. I can't do it as a mail merge. I've been doing it manually.
Okay.
I don't particularly want to do anything through N8N or whatever because the Outlook server that I need to use won't allow me to use an API in that manner. So only computer use will do it from my computer because that's me pointing and clicking, and that's
I get you. All right, let me have a think, and I'll drop you a DM on that. Okay, I'm actually going to drop you a DM right now, so I don't forget. And
thank you.
I'll get back to you for computer use.
I'm hoping that sort of thing, hopefully wouldn't be too long till they sort of fix up issues like that, I think.
Yeah, mostly.
Like legal privilege and confidentiality and stuff, all sorts of issues.
Last week, we actually had really great people here, and JP actually added a lot of value on that topic as well, regarding security, like cybersecurity and what it means. We had a specialist from Australia join us kind of talk on the topic, but
As a
he's not
specialist,
here.
yeah.
He's not here this time, but it's definitely a topic that I would love to get in depth at some point, because right now we're just allowing everything and anything, like willy-nilly, just tick yes, like I accept everything, you know. So this is one of the gray areas where I'm still a little bit hesitant to use computer use, not through my browser, but specifically download it. And I don't want it to boot up in the middle of the night and find my playlist, and I don't know, like, you know, I'm just,
this is going to be massive for businesses. It was coming up, and I think keep your eye on that.
Yeah, it is definitely for us to pay attention, but it is definitely something that we can. I'll touch base on with everyone here via a post, whatever I find it or whatever I kind of talk to Julian about. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been lovely. Next Wednesday, same time as today, just on a Wednesday. Hope to see you there. If you have any questions, drop me DMs. Mel, I'll be waiting for your DM so that we can find the best tools, you know, for your use cases. Awesome collaboration today, vibing really hard. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely weekend ahead, and all the best.
JPML, cheers to that, mate. But I'm going to be bitch slapping Scout all weekend.
Go for it, Andrew. Go for it. All right, team. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.